understood the function of the tie. Now, it's a very strange kind of device. I actually quite find it quite sexy. I quite like to look at the man in a tie because, you know, around here it means he's got a job. But, you know, around here it also, because I think there's two tribes of men. It's a bit short there. I think it's men who wear ties and men who don't wear ties at all. Like, they're the two tribes, the tie men and the tieless men, which is sort of, you know, we live in an area pretty well populated by men who don't wear ties. They don't usually wear ties because often they don't even wear shirts. Some of them don't even wear pants. But, you know, that's the whole idea of the, you know, the tie. And it is quite, you know, I don't know. I suppose a lot of people came here because they actually wanted to actually rebel against the tie. Apparently, there's only two groups in society that ever wore, you know, anything around their necks. And I think that was slaves and the hanged. But, oh, sorry, darling, you're getting close there. But, you know, the tie is quite funny. I find it quite sexy, you know. I think the tie's a little bit sexy, you know, when you put a tie on. Because you go, oh, look at him and his tie. You've got to do your top button up, though. Oh, that's going to kill you. You won't be able to breathe. I think that's the point, you know, you can't breathe. It's the corporate strangulation that comes. Look at that. Oh, God, it must be so comfortable. This is like punishment because we have to wear bras. You've got to wear a tie. It is... Around here, if you do wear a tie where we live, you know, in the Byron Shire, that's the worst. I'm going to have another go at that one. That's the worst tie I've ever done. You know, it basically means you know, you people think, oh, look at you poor fuck, you're obviously going to court, you know, done DUI, or else, you know, even worse, you know, you're a lawyer. Well, that's not true. The lawyers don't wear ties here anyway. But, sorry about that. If you think about it from, how's that? From the point of view of the actual kind of, you know, the symbology of a tie, it's a bit like a bib, isn't it? Some say it was actually invented to stop men, you know, wrecking their shirts, like a man bib. Or it's kind of, you know, anthropologically, it is kind of like an arrow, you know, on a businessman, and it points directly down to the cock right there to say, hey, check this out. I've got a cock. Watch out. There's the cock. Don't fuck with me. I've got the cock. And I think that's what that's doing. Did you realise that? And you notice when men go into business meetings, they meet up with other guys with ties, and they're all pointing down to the cocks, going, check this out, check out the cock, which I think is kind of the part of the, you know, men gathering in groups to talk to other men wearing ties, you know. So it's funny though, I've often thought that, you know, maybe, I don't know where to tuck that in there, maybe the tie actually, you know, is, you know, I don't know, it could be something sort of far more sinister. I was actually thinking that you sort of cut the circulation off like that. Because, you know, men in ties, they generally do really bad things to people without ties. You'll find that. Like, if you're looking at CSG, for instance, you'd find it'll be the guys in ties actually going and drilling, you know, kind of holes and doing a bit of fracking in the land of people without ties. That's kind of what happens with the ties and the no ties sort of thing. You know, because you wouldn't find anyone, you know, with the tie actually having, you know, you wouldn't have like a CSG mine done out the back near your infinity pool, would you? Going, oh, it'd be good for the barbecue though on a Sunday because you wouldn't have to go get gas bottle filled. But I don't think you wouldn't have that because it's all about men in ties. The tie men exploit, you know, people without ties, like farmers. Farmers don't wear ties, you know, because there's nowhere to put it on a blue singlet. So that is, and I actually think you might actually change things, you know, because people take ties seriously. If you've got a tie on, you have authority. What you say is real. If you have a singlet on, you clearly, you know, no tie. If you try and say the same thing with no shirt on and a tie and a shirt, man, the person in the tie, this is it. This is what actually gives you fucking credibility. You know, it doesn't matter. So I actually think if you've got a protest next time, put on a fucking tie. Put on a shirt and tie. Don't stand there in your hippie fucking gear. Put on a suit like this, right, and stand out the front of a blockade. They won't know what the fuck to do. It'll look like a bunch of businessmen. They'll think, what's happened? The tie people have taken over. Anyway, I actually think this whole tie thing, I actually think maybe what it is, this whole meeting with your ties on, I actually think what it is, it actually isn't so much about power, it's about ties. Maybe ties are meeting together and using men to carry them through. Evil, aren't they? Evil ties. What I do like about the tie, it makes a really good handle. Come on, sweetheart, let's go. Come on, come on, come on.